Ruto must be president. That is the message on social media. Yeah. With people asking Raila Odinga to concede. Wetangula has even asked Raila Odinga to shake hands with Ruto. Not to get any position in Ruto's government, but for the sake of peace. Ruto bloggers are very busy online. They're even playing old clips. Very, very short clips taken out of context are being distributed online. Yeah, all to support the narrative. Ruto must be president. And Azimio have already given up. But is that the correct situation? Is that what is really happening in Mother Kenya? No. Apana. Okay? You know, the thing here is that different players, prominent players in this drama, are behaving very strangely, out of character. They're not doing what we would expect them to do in a situation like this. Especially the ODM, artillery, are quiet. They're not firing any bulbs anywhere. They're talking very little. Why? Welcome to my show today, where I continue to explore this mystery. Welcome to my show today, which should be a breath of fresh air after you've come from social media, where the UDM boys have been busy convincing you it is all over, convincing you that Ruto will be president, convincing you Ruto must be president. Must. Kwani iko nini? He must be president. Must. Anyway, twende kazi. Every day, I am seeing more and more evidence to support the contents, what I said, in my Weekly Intelligence Briefings number 83. Meanwhile, unsuspecting Azimio supporters are looking for some good news somewhere. They're going online. They're looking at mainstream media, and all they're getting is disappointment. President-elect William Samoei Ruto gazetted. Azimio people defecting to the camp of William Samoei Ruto. Etc., etc. But many of these Azimio supporters have completely failed to take note of some very interesting, puzzling developments going down. I have never seen Raila Odinga so relaxed. He's too relaxed. And the most puzzling thing of all, that great army of ODM, which would usually have been out firing from both barrels of the gun, non-stop, condemning what has happened, condemning the strange pronouncement, declaration of a president by Wafula Chebukati, they're all missing in action. Why? You know, you can be so full of yourself, so overconfident, that you completely fail to notice some things you should pay attention to. And in some cases, You may manage to convince yourself that you're the best. You're too smart. You've outsmarted everybody. They have no answer. That is why they're keeping quiet. It is possible. What am I talking about? You will have noticed that even on social media, the Azimio bloggers are quiet. They're scrambling around looking for information. Even analysts allied to Azimio are confused because the usual people who give them news are mum. Wamefunga mdomo na zip mbili. It would seem that the Azimio strategy, which may not make sense at first sight, is wacha waongee. Let them dominate social media. Let them do what they're doing. Give them a free hand. Don't oppose them. Don't give counter statements, or give very few of them. Now, for anybody who understands Kenyan politics, that is more than strange. And of course you are allowed to fool yourself that Azimio have been beaten. Yeah, they have decided to give up. Kabisa. You're allowed to convince yourself of that. Meanwhile, a confirmation, yet another confirmation of WIB number 83 came from the most unlikely source. This lawyer, the Grand Mullah, who makes a mind-boggling allegation. He says that Azimio, the Azimio legal team, does not plan to ask the Supreme Court to nullify the election of William Samoei Ruto as president. No. Instead, they are seeking to get the Supreme Court to announce the correct results and declare Raila Odinga the president. In other words, Azimio are not interested in a rerun. They're not interested in another election at all. Now, many will know that this lawyer is a firm supporter of Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. That is why I was very surprised when this information came from him. You know, Senior Counsel Abdullahi is first and foremost a businessman and a lawyer. And I'm thinking that maybe he's looking for a client. He's looking for a very lucrative assignment at the Supreme Court. Yeah, that comes first before the side he's supporting. Because why else should he give so much hope, yeah, to those who have lost hope? That is Azimio supporters. Yeah, most of them have lost hope. Why should he give them so much hope? Because this tweet, this particular tweet he made, has had an impact on those supporting Azimio. Many people I've spoken to have told me they now see light at the end of a very dark tunnel. You know, I was telling somebody today, and I believe I've repeated the same on this channel in the recent past, that this is not 1992. Neither is it 1997. Yeah, those are the 2 years when former President Daniel Toroitich arap Moi won elections despite being so unpopular countrywide. Indeed, it is true that Moi became much more popular after he left office than he ever was in all his political life. But when he was in office, a vast majority of Kenyans just wanted him to go. Yeah, but that's a story for another day. And it is super interesting that the William Samoei Ruto playbook is a photocopy of the KANU Mama na Baba playbook. Unatawala vyema Rais Ruto, tawala Kenya, tawala. Ruto Mama na Baba, tingiza, tingiza kabisa. Oh yes. In the last few days, I've really felt that I'm back in 1992 and 1997. The man has not even been sworn in. Yeah, William Samoei Ruto. But we can already feel the KANU vibes. They're very strong in Kenya right now. Oh yes. Draconian rule. No freedom of the press. You can't say what you want to say. I mean, since the handshake, people have been insulting the president. Nothing happens to them. People have been going to extremes, misusing their freedom of expression. But nothing has happened to them. But have you noticed how the Kenya Kwanza camp, especially UDA, are so sensitive to any criticism? Constructive criticism does not exist in the dictionary of UDA. You're either with them or you're against them. And you're against them the minute you criticize any small thing. That is really the truth. So imagine what would happen if the UDA presidential candidate, or the presidential candidate from the party called UDA, took over as president. It is very predictable what will happen. Extremely predictable. I want to take this opportunity yet again to encourage Azimio supporters. Because Azimio supporters need to realize that this thing is bigger, much bigger than a simple presidential race between Raila Odinga and William Samoei Ruto. It is much bigger than that. This is about the freedom of Kenyans. This is about the sacrifices Kenyans have made in the past, very many of them, for a better Kenya, for the freedoms you enjoy today. And those freedoms, trust me, can vanish overnight. I just want to remind you what was happening in the run-up to the 2017 presidential elections. Under this same constitution, you remember how many times Babu Owino was arrested for what he said? You remember all the terrible, terrible things that happened? Members of the opposition then, NASA, being harassed, threatened, all kinds of things happening to them. Remember that? And of course it's very instructive. Guess who was running the show on behalf of Jubilee? In the run-up to the 2017 presidential elections. Guess who was in charge? WSR. Himself. William Samoei Ruto. Oh yes. And that is proof that what we enjoy today and take for granted can just vanish overnight. Because of a president we have elected, allegedly. So, those who love Kenya, those who actually understand, because there are many people who think they understand but they don't have a clue, be encouraged. A better Kenya is coming. The only problem is this bridge we have to cross. Ni shida crossing this bridge, but we will overcome for a better Kenya. But perhaps the greatest clue, the greatest telltale sign that things are not what they seem to be, despite the massive UDA propaganda online, came from political analysts allied to Azimio, very close to President Uhuru Kenyatta, who has said the following, and I'd like to read it out verbatim. Uhuru Kenyatta has played by every rule in the book. There was no violence in this election. He gazetted Ruto as president-elect. He even appointed the transition committee to hand over power. But Ruto's ambition to become president may just stop at elect. I need to repeat that. But Ruto's ambition to become president may just stop at elect. President-elect Ruto. What he's really saying is that President-elect Ruto will never transition to President Ruto. That's really what he was saying, without giving us any details. Why? Why is he so sure? What information does he have that we don't have? That should encourage everybody who is interested in a united, better Kenya. I dare add that the reason why Mutahi Ngunyi penned these words is contained in my Weekly Intelligence Briefings, number 83. I believe you can see details on your screens right now. That special offer comes to an end very soon. So if you've not taken advantage, take advantage of it right away. Of course, if you're a member, you already know what I'm talking about. You're fully aware of my position on this matter, despite all the other things happening that may contradict what I'm saying. I know it is very frustrating when you get information like this and you have no idea what people are talking about. But you can be sure time will tell. It always does. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.